Welcome to another video, guys. In today's video I'm going to show you how to do an oil change on a 2020 to 2023 Ford Explorer with the 2.34 cylinder engine. Go ahead and stay tuned.
Music bed.
Alright guys, so this is the first oil change I'm going to do on this Ford Explorer 2022. This has the 2.34 cylinder EcoBoost engine, and I am using, it does take a 530 oil. It takes about 5.2, so right over the 5 quarts. So I just bought 2 gallons. And then I'm using the Motorcraft oil filter. So this is the factory filter it takes. Again, I'm using Castrol because that's what I like, but you can use whatever oil really you like. Couple different options you'll have here. So vehicle is not that low off the ground, but it'll be a little bit tight to get under there, just like that. So you can use your jack with jack stands to get it up off the floor a little bit. What I'm gonna do is use the ramps here. This worked pretty good for a vehicle that's obviously not that low. Like, you know, my Mustang, I can't really go on this because the bumper hits. But for this one, you know, I'm just gonna back it up a little bit, pull it up on the ramps. You just gotta, you know, go slow. Once you're on top, you stop, and you're good to go. So first, we're gonna go ahead and open the hood. So on these Explorers, you have your hood latch right in here, and you're gonna pull it once, and then pull it a second time to release it. So it's a different design. You don't have the you know, little latch that you undo here on the hood. And then we're gonna put the hood prop rod here. Oil filler next, right up there. It does have like a little spout there, and then the dipstick is right next to it in there. So going underneath, so I'm not 100% sure because I haven't done oil change on this before, but I believe we're gonna take this second panel off here. So if you see here on the front of your Explorer, you have your bumper. There's this plastic panel right in here, and then there's another kind of like felt one about a foot long right in here. So I can't really see in there, but I'm thinking that's where the drain plug is. We might have to remove this front one here, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm gonna start by removing this one here, and it just has a few of the push pins, so you can use like a flathead screwdriver to, you know, get in there and pull them down. Just be careful. You don't want to break these because then you'll have to get new ones, but you know, just be mindful. I mean, I'm gonna put the camera down, but I could probably use another flathead on the other side, or you can get some of the pliers that are for these. These aren't specifically for these kind of push pins, but they're for the other type of push pins, but they do have little teeth in them that makes it easy to kind of grab behind there. So once you pull it down like that, you should be able to pull that whole pin out, or that whole plastic piece out of there. Probably be easier with 2 hands than 1, but let me just show you guys here. You know, you can just pull the whole thing down. So again, just be very careful with these, that way you don't break them. But I'm gonna go ahead and there's another one on the other side, and then there's a couple here that are just the round type, pretty much same design but round, and we'll see what's underneath there. All right, so with this little panel removed off here, actually your oil pan's right in here, which is an aluminum oil pan, looks like, and then your filter is right here. So very convenient, drain plug, filter. Looks like you might, you know, get some oil on this little cross member, but it's easy enough to clean, or you can just put like a piece of cardboard here just in case, but right in this area. But I'm gonna get my drain pan, and then looks like possibly a 15 for the drain plug here, and a filter wrench for your filter there. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is it does also have 7mm bolts on this piece, so it has 5 7mm bolts. So, you know, one here on the back, 2 here on the side, and then 2 here on the other plastic. But you don't have to remove this front one here. You can just get away with removing this other one here. Drain the oil here. It is a 15mm. And hopefully I don't give the camera a bath here. I don't think I'm close to it, but pretty close to the edge there, but not quite. And I'm just gonna clean this drain plug here. It's a normal style drain plug, you know, bolt, not like the trucks that have that plastic one. So that's nice. Oil looks pretty clean actually. Kind of, you know, that gold hue on it. This vehicle does barely have 3,000 miles on it, but like I do all my oil changes at 3,000 miles, so I just wanted to get it done here. But oil looks pretty good. You know, it's dirty, but not too bad. But you gotta realize, you know, 3,000 miles, it's a little bit dirty if you go like the whole, I'm not sure what the turbo on this is, I'll check on the manual, but if you go close to the 10,000 miles, I mean, by that point, that oil is gonna be really, really dirty. So I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I got my oil filter here. I'm gonna go ahead and just use some of this oil here, which, you know, again, you can see it's pretty clean. And I'm just gonna put a little bit on the O-ring here. Put this aside. And then I'm gonna start getting that oil filter loose. We'll see how tight that is. A lot of times on new vehicles, these are super tight, so we'll see. Nope, actually, not tight at all, so that's good. Maybe because, you know, we didn't let it be on there so long, but what I'm gonna do with this box while I'm waiting there is I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of break it apart and just put it flat like this. And this is just so that way I can put that behind that cross member, so I don't get any oil in there. Just, you know, if I don't have to clean it, make it easier. A lot of times I don't see any holes, but here on the side, so if the oil gets, you know, in there, it's gonna be hard to kind of clean, and then you'll always have that like dirt buildup in there. So while that finishes draining, I'm just gonna actually fold it this way. And like I said, this is just in case the oil drops into the cross member. So I think, I mean, it's coming off here on the side of the filter, so it wouldn't drop on the cross member if I didn't have this in there. But if the oil starts pouring on the other side of the filter, it will get that edge. So this will make it easier than cleaning that whole thing. I went ahead and drained all the oil, put the filter back on, put the drain plug back on, and the filter I just tightened it by hand. So, you know, with all your filters, unless you can really get a good grip on it, you just gotta tighten up by hand. Make sure it's really snug, right? You know, but that's more than tight enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this shield back on. Quick little thing, I realized once I pulled this off, there was this little square plastic pieces here on the floor, and so there's this little squares here that actually hold the clip to this kind of like cardboard cover. And so when you pull this plastic once, when you pull them off, you don't have to pull the actual clip all the way out. You just pull it out so that way it releases, like, you know, that much, maybe like a quarter of an inch on both of them, maybe half an inch or so. This probably has to pull a little bit more. There you go. And then once you pull it out, you just pull it out. It just holds it in there, so you don't have to pull the whole thing out. If you pull the whole clip out like I did, make sure you put that little square here on the back to hold it. But looks like they'll make it easier actually to put it back since it has that clip in there. You know, I can line it up and then push it in, that hold it in place. Same with this side, so you know that holds it in there. And then I can just start putting the other clips back on. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish that up, and then we'll go ahead and fill the oil. So I have the panel back on there. One thing to note is this push pin is a little bit smaller diameter than the ones on the side, on the back. So it is a different size, even though it looks almost the same as those ones. This one's smaller, that one's bigger. So this one will fit really loose in the back. Those ones will not go in this hole. So that's one thing to keep an eye on. And then the really cool thing about these bolts is the clip they go into. It's actually metal. Where the old cars, you know, older years, they're plastic in the body, and so these always get stripped and just fall out, or people just use like an impact and strip them. So that's nicer on this. So we're all done down here. So, you know, I'm gonna get all my tools out and then we'll go ahead and fill the oil. We're on top of the car here on the engine, and so it does have that nice little spout there. So that holds your funnel in place, makes it easier. It's not falling over. And so what I'm gonna do is put the 5 quarts in there. I'm gonna try to do it without spilling anything here. The nice thing about having that spout hold your funnel is, you know, you don't have to hold it with one hand and try to pour it in. So All right, so now remember the owner's manual calls for 5.2 quarts of oil. So that's 5 and then a fifth of a quart. What I did is when I was putting the oil filter on, I actually filled the oil filter, since on this vehicle it just goes straight up. And I was just looking, and pretty much the filter holds that 1/5 of a quart in there. So what I'm gonna do is, since I put that on the oil filter, I put 5 quarts here. That should be the right amount. But you always, once you start it up, you always want to check your dipstick and just make sure that your level's good. But I think that's an easy way to remember. Fill your oil filter till it's completely full, and then do 5 quarts, and that'll be the right amount. So if it's any different, like I said, I'll check the dipstick. I'll add a little bit more, but I think that's going to be right where we need to be. So I'm going to go ahead and let that funnel just drip a little bit more. Put the oil cap back in there. And then we'll go ahead and reset the oil change light. And we'll be all set. So I went ahead and backed up the vehicle. Put away my ramps. I did check the dipstick, and it is right at the perfect level. On the force, there's 2 little dots, the min and max kind of, and then it's right. It's not all the way up to the max, but it's more than halfway between them. So it's like 3/4 up. So, and that's after, letting it run for a little bit. So that's a good idea. Fill your oil filter, put 5 quarts, and that's the perfect amount of oil that you will need. One last thing, I'm just going to show you. I'm going to start this. Resetting your oil light. So from here, I'm just gonna hit menu, and then it's gonna show on the screen there. You can see it's gonna show select screens, audio, phone, and then settings. So with settings, go ahead and hit OK. Takes you right to oil life. Hit OK one more time, and then it just tell you hold OK for reset. So I'm gonna hold, and it's gonna reset to 100. Interesting, on there it says 72% left, so it means it was only at 1/4 of its lifespan according to the computer with 3,000 miles. So that tells me this vehicle, it probably wants you to change the oil about 12,000 miles. That's up to you personally, but by 12,000 miles I would have probably done 4 oil changes on this. So that's just me though. That's how I like to do it. Really, it's your preference, your car, right? Anyways, thank you for watching the video, guys. The last thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and update my oil change on Carfax. I showed you guys on the F-150 oil change that I did how to track it on Carfax. So you do your own oil change. That way it shows if someone pulls a Carfax on your vehicle, it shows all your oil changes that have been done, even if you did it at home. So I'm gonna do that. If you want to see how that's done, watch the F-150 oil change oil, and at the end of it, I'll show you it shows you how to go in there. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Any comments, questions, leave it on the comments below. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you.